Hey Internet, Eric here. Another impromptu video for you guys. Um, if anybody knows me, they know me personally or starting to get to know me online or whatever. They know I'm a huge fan of pro wrestling, and I've been a fan since WrestleMania 6. I remember that was what got me into wrestling. The first match I ever saw was the Colossal Connection losing the belts, the WWF Tag Team belts, to Demolition and Andre the Giant slapping the crap out of Bobby the Brain Heenan. Since then, I was hooked. WWF, WWE, WCW, ECW, what have you. I'm a fan of technical stuff, high flying, death match, all that stuff. And one cool thing that has really been fun recently in my life is I've been able to go to local events lately. Handful of years ago, even before COVID, there was a local federation. Um, let's see here, about half hour away, and they would have maybe monthly shows once every couple months, and then they just stopped. Something happened to deal with their owner. They just stopped running stuff, and then COVID happened, and then when COVID stopped, and I've been to a few deathmatch shows. That was fun. But the federation I want to talk about today, local federation, Windy City Pro Wrestling, WCPW. And I've mentioned them before. I did an unboxing video where I showed off a T-shirt I got in the mail, a DVD, and I kind of explained a little bit of the card that I went to the first time by myself and the second time with my daughter. This past weekend, let's see here, July 15th, 2023, as of this recording, my daughter and I was just at another show. It was her third time, my fourth time, and we had a freaking blast. And I kind of wanted to just put a big spotlight as much as I can on this local federation that it had its heyday back then, and then now it's trying to make a comeback. And if anyone in the local area, Chicago area, likes indie wrestling, to come check this place out. There was a post on Facebook. Someone traveled an hour and a half to see these guys and had a blast, and it's because it's wrestling again. You know what I mean? I'll get into it. Um, some context with my daughter. She knows I like wrestling. She'll sit down, she'll watch it. Ooh, that's a cool movie, then she'll leave, type of thing. She does not like watching it on TV. So when I took her to her first WCPW show, she wasn't interested. She didn't care. She didn't want to go. She wanted to leave. Then the show started, and by the end of the main event, we were walking and she said, "This was so much fun. I can't wait to come back." And now she's been to 3 shows total. And what it is, it's the fan interaction, the wrestlers, the storylines. Okay, I'm going to try to say what I can remember of the show, why we had so much fun this past weekend. Bear with me with names and stuff like that. Show starts off from what I remember, and it's Big Time, who is the owner, WCPW, like legitimate owner, not just storyline. He comes out and he talks about how a lot of things had to change because of cancellations, injuries, what have you, whether it's kayfabe or not. And that's what happens with being a promoter. There's been plenty of deathmatch shows I've gone to where they've had to throw the card around because no shows, injuries. He talks about how the tag team championship match, because he was going to crown new world tag team champions, just had belts made, and a new women's champion, new belt made. And he said one of the wrestlers from the Top Guns, what was his name? Ryan Michaels, was jumped outside of a gym, shoulder injury, can't participate. Long story short, Nate Bach, the wild card from the West Coast, who is a perfect jerk off heel. You know what I mean? I love him because he is so full of himself, so annoying. He reminds me of like an annoying little frat boy, but he is really good in the ring. Him and his partner, sorry, don't know the guy's name. They admit to beating up Ryan Michaels. They admit to beating up the other tag team. What the heck is his name? Eric Fallon, who was Ryan Michaels' partner, comes out and says he will take them on handicap match. So that gets signed. Well, then now Big Time's talking about how the women's match will not happen because him and Crystal Carmichael, they just can't get along. And I guess like there is some storyline wise, they have been feuding for decades. Back in the heyday of WCPW when Big Time was a wrestler, there was some feud going on back then, and it's carrying over to now. And he just didn't want to deal with her type of thing. And it's cool. Me and my daughter were sitting front row. or right by the entrance, like the entrance way, not the wrestler's entrance, the entrance way. And then he was as big time as Teres talking to her. We hear some yelling from behind us. We turn around, and then there's Crystal Carmichael. And what I love about her, she's good at talking shit. I love her. And what's cool about her, she's like scary strong. You know what I mean? When she's in her ring gear, it's pretty revealing. You know what I mean? Her arms aren't massively huge. You know what I mean? She doesn't have huge freaking thighs. You know what I mean? But she hides that strength. Like she can body slam a man, kick the crap out of him with the best of them. She hops over the guardrail like right in front of me and my daughter. It's really good. She gets in the ring, and her and Big Time are the trash talking each other so much, lots of fun. And then we have her insurance policy. Big Trouble Ben Bishop. Now, I think I mentioned him in my video before. He. My daughter likes to call him Tall Man. She's starting to get used to their ring names, so she would call him Tall Man. By the end of the night, she knew who he was. She met him before. He's 7 foot tall, but he is 6 foot 12 inches according to him. I don't remember the weight. Is it like 10% of a metric ton? I don't remember. Anyways, he right in front of us, over the guardrail, gets in. He's the insurance policy, blah, blah, blah. He's demanding a title shot. My daughter's favorite WCPW wrestler, Damian Fenrir, he's the champion. He comes out, rescues Big Time from basically going to get his butt handed to him. So that title match is scheduled for later. Most of the matches were fantastic. Lots of fun, lots of fan interaction. The first match was a lot of fun because I don't remember who the babyface was, but the heel. The Absolute Truth, Alexander Moss. What I liked about him, he was this full of himself, cocky wrestler, prone to cheating, kept pulling the hair and this and that, shit talking, all this. He got in my daughter's face. I remember what it was. She was telling him, she called him a coward. She called him a coward because he kept running outside the ring, you know what I mean, and not getting in. And he looked at her and said, "Oh, you think you're smarter than me?" And she says, "Yeah, you're a coward. Get in the ring." And that's what I love. I love how these heels, I love how these heels know how to play to the kids. You know what I mean? They make it fun for them. They're not overly mean, but they're still a bad guy and will get in their face. And that was something my daughter loved, and I'll get to why later. Eventually, it's a great match. Moss wins, and something happens. Big Time says that he has to wrestle again tonight because he's talking crap or something. Trax comes out. Trax is a favorite wrestler of mine, a favorite wrestler of my daughter's from WCPW. I'm glad he is a regular in this federation. Just big, mean dude, mean looking dude. You know what I mean? You don't want to mess with. And what I like about Trax is he's always there to stop the bad guys from talking crap, from talking smack. He's there to, okay, you want to talk bad to me, we'll settle in the ring type of guy. We love him. He's so good. And he challenges Moss to a fight, and Moss says, "You know what? I'm not gonna fight tonight. I fought once before. My envelope, which is, it's an ongoing thing where behind the scenes, that's how they get paid. Their money is put in an envelope. The promoter hands it to them. That's their payday." He says, "My envelope isn't fat enough for me to wrestle twice." Big Time says, "I got plenty of money. You're gonna wrestle tonight." So that's cool. I like that. Other matches I'm trying to remember. The tag team championship match, the 2-on-1. Really good match, really good use of, this was a night of the bad guys, the night of the heels, I'll say, because Nate Bach and his partner won. Lots of cheating, lots of underhanded tactics, this and that. Eric Fallon did his best. He did really good against two guys. Great chemistry with these guys, and Nate Bach proved why he is one of the best heels in Windy City Pro Wrestling. And now that he is half of the tag team champions, we're definitely going to see more of him. And what I like is the fan interaction. There was this one little boy, his dad wrote it, but this one little boy had a sign that said Nate Bach is a soy boy. You know what I mean? And after the match, the kid held it up, and Nate was acting like he was going to take it from him, like he was going to hit the kid, stuff like that. Intermission happens, and the kid, again, you can meet the wrestlers. Free pictures if you want to buy 8x10 or a t-shirt, you got to pay for it type of stuff, but pictures are free. What I love is there's a picture of this little boy holding that up, and Nate Bach is just pointing, you know what I mean? that type of stuff. We get to see a little bit of the people behind the personas. That was great. Other matches, I'm trying to think. There was the Adonis somebody, sorry, against Summertime Deion Summers. He was fun. We got to meet him after his match. My daughter was going to the restroom, and we met him, and he was, told him thank you and this and that. He was fun. He comes out, to a fun song. Why he's got a squirt gun. He's squirting the kids, this and that. Fantastic match. He wins. Lots of fun. My daughter was coming back, and she told him how he did a good job. High five, this and that. That was great. Other matches. Let me try to think. Off the top of my head, I'm kind of losing it a little bit. Okay, Crystal Carmichael. She comes out. And she's going to face an opponent. She's coming out. She's looking good in that outfit. She's ready to face her opponent for the women's championship. Big Time announces that person 3 times. Finally, Big Time Ben Bishop comes out, says she's not going to be here. And by forfeit, Crystal Carmichael, to the chagrin of Big Time, is awarded the title. And what I like is this is part of the ongoing storyline of their hatred. That's what's missing in wrestling. These ongoing storylines, like their hatred. Like, there was something going on the last time where she beat Big Time in court, and she made it so she could become a part of WCPW again. What I liked during this, like when what was it? The match happened after Crystal won, okay? Announcements are made. Big Time suddenly gets on his phone because he's the ring announcer, and he rings the bell and everything. He's turned around. He's yelling into his phone. He's yelling to keeping the storyline going. Like, I don't know how many people were able to hear it. I was able to hear it. My daughter was able to hear what he was saying, and he was yelling about his lawyer, what's part of the contract, you screwed up, blah, 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 that usual stuff. Didn't pay attention. Someone else had to come and ring the bell because all that stuff. That's what I like. These characters are staying in character even when it's affecting the show. Other matches off the top of my head, I'm trying to think. You know what? Let's get to a memory here. Let me bring up Alexander Moss again because he defeats Trax. Thanks to Ben Bishop, cheating, the usual stuff. And I'm starting to warm up to him a little bit because I'm loving his heel persona. Because after Trax is defeated and he gets a low blow because Ben Bishop and Chris will distract him, he hands the envelope of money to Ben Bishop. And that just reminds me, this is why I like Alexander Moss. One of the reasons. He comes out with his envelope of money, and he's putting it on the ring, the timekeeper's table is what you would call it. And he looks right at me. He says, "Don't you dare touch this money." I go like this, you know what I mean, to have fun. He wins the match, he cheats, gives the money to Ben Bishop. So I'm starting to warm up to this guy. I really warm up to him during intermission. Now, during intermission, these wrestlers, they got to sell their stuff, make a quick dollar. And he is selling, like, I don't know what they are. They're like backpacks, but they're made out of, they're stitched with rope and stuff. They look really cool. It's got his insignia on it. He comes up to me, and he's giving his spiel, and he's talking about how, would you like this for your daughter? Only $10. She could put book bags in it, this and that, clothes for a sleepover. And I was going to buy it for her because, $10. There's a difference between $10 and, like 25 or something for a t-shirt. Strapped for cash, but I'm like, okay. I looked at him, I was like, well, you know what? I would buy it from you, but you threatened me with not to touch your envelope of cash. He's like, oh, was that me? What if I apologize? What if I apologize to you right now and, tell you I'm sorry? Would you still like to buy one? I'm like, you know what? I will buy one. And I gave him the $10. What I liked is my daughter. She finally started to come out of her comfort zone when it comes to the wrestlers. Like, she still didn't really want to get a picture taken with them yet, but she walked by Trax, and like we got our hot dogs and stuff. We were walking back to our seats, but she stopped right by Trax. You know what I mean? And she wanted to high five him, and then she went back. She wanted to say good job type of thing. So she's finally coming out of her bubble. Again, because these wrestlers in the intermission are so good with the kids. So I get the book bag from Alexander Moss, and she tells him, she says, you know what? I really like coming here because I like to boo the bad guys. It's a lot of fun. So he smiled. You can tell he was touched, and that's what she said. She's, I like booing you because it was a lot of fun. He says, well, you know what? I'll be your favorite bad guy, and she got a kick out of it. Lots of fun. That's a moment I'll always remember because of how well he treated my daughter. So I mean, there was one match that was just kind of meh. I don't even remember the wrestlers. One was he had a Celtic cross here, and the other guy had like was a bigger dude with a black shirt. It was more so memorable because of all the cheating on the outside of the ring than what was happening inside of the ring. Anyways, so main event time, and this is fun. Big time Ben Bishop, who I love. I became a fan when I first saw him, and then I started following him on Twitter. We follow each other. We've talked a few times. He is a great big man. He is so good on the microphone. And what I like about it is he's not just, full of himself, persona wise or not, full of himself, cocky. He's very confident. And that is what I like about him. I love the way he talks on the microphone. He's not like so conceited, but he's trying to make his point about how good he is, and this is why. So this is fun because it's Big Trouble Ben Bishop coming out with Crystal. Me and my daughter, we both love Crystal. We love Crystal, much to big time chagrin. Um, but we love Crystal, and then I love cheering for Ben, and then Damien comes out, so it's fun. I'm cheering for Ben. My daughter's cheering for Damien. We're having like cheering contest between the two of us. It's a great match. There was one scary moment. Um, Damien jumped and somersaulted over the ropes towards Ben, and his head cracked the ground. I heard the thump noise. It was kind of scary. Um, Ben broke character, checked on him right away, and then they continued for the match, and it was just chaotic. Oh, so many things were happening. Alexander Moss came and interfered. The referee was being distracted by Crystal Carmichael. Crystal was so good, she was choking Damien when the ref was being distracted by Ben. Perfect heel attitude, actions. It made me feel like a kid again when the bad guys would do this type of stuff behind the referee's back. So that's why I enjoyed it so much. It was like a nostalgia kick for me. And then, uh, big time Ben Bishop won. He, due to distractions and just Damien being overpowered and outnumbered, big time won, or Big Trouble won, excuse me. And I loved it because I'm sitting right next to Big Time. Big Time's, come on, champ. He's cheering on Damien. My daughter on my other side is cheering on Damien. I'm cheering on them. And they're both giving me kind of looks. It's fun interaction. And then Alexander Moss, he's jumping on them. Out comes Trax. Trax is beating up everybody. Crystal Carmichael, claws his eyes. He flips her over. Big Time gets in there, hits Ben Bishop with the chair. And it's great because he's this big man, no sell, turns around, big boot to the face, knocks Big Time out of the ring. The heels are beating the crap out of all the good guys, all the baby faces. They get out of the ring. We have this new stable. I don't remember what it's called. I don't remember if Crystal or Ben or Alexander said if they have a stable. Big Time, if you're watching, go ahead and comment below. Tell me what the stable is called. And they're now, it's like the inmates are running the asylum. They're in charge. And I'm loving it. It reminded me, honestly, it reminded me kind of like, when the NWO took over. You know what I mean? And the villains are in charge. And due to the chemistry between the heels and the baby faces and the way the crowd was getting into it, like, it was so much fun. And as we were about ready to leave, Big Time comes out. He's hollering and yelling, saying this is bullcrap, this and that. He's promoting the show that's going to happen next month again at the McHenry County Fair. Do your search, your Google search on that. McHenry County Fair 2023. They're going to have a steel cage match. It's going to be Damien versus Alexander Moss. Trax is getting a title shot against Big Trouble Ben Bishop. It's late. Sorry. And it's Moss comes out and he is yelling and screaming. And this is what's great. This is another reason why I love this Moss guy. We're behind big time as he's yelling at Moss, talking so much shit to him. Moss is yelling back. Me and my daughter were holding up the little book bag type of thing, and Moss looks right at. He's like, he smiles. He points right at. He's like, "I got you. That's right." So again, this interaction is just so much fun. So that's it. I know a lot of my viewers aren't big wrestling fans, but maybe some of you are. Maybe some people are just searching independent wrestling and come across this video. I highly recommend looking at WCPW. There is a YouTube channel, there is a Twitter, there is a Facebook. I'll put it in the links below. Give it a shot, or just give your local independent wrestling federation a shot. It's so much fun. Like I said, you don't have to enjoy watching pro wrestling. It's like me. I hate football. I hate baseball. I like going to the games. You might not like pro wrestling on television. Go to one of your local shows, because when it's a smaller group, you can get, like a smaller crowd, local. You can get more involved. The wrestlers will get more involved with you, and it's a lot more fun. Like I said, my daughter's living proof how she's excited to go. We're gonna go in September. We won't be able to make it to the one at the fair, but highly recommend searching out Windy City Pro Wrestling, WCPW, or just your local indie federation. So much fun. I just want to do this. I'm not getting paid. No one's asked me to do this video. I'm not, the local promoter for, promoting, however you want to say. You know what I mean? I'm not fanboy, whatever. I did this because it was fun. And again, like I'm saying, how it was a lot of fun. It's making some memories with me and my daughter. So check out Windy City Pro Wrestling. Crystal Carmichael on top. Alexander Moss. You're a new heel that I'm really digging. Big Trouble Ben Bishop there. I didn't screw it up that time. What did I say? I said on Twitter, this is one tree that it's going to take a long time to chop down. I don't see any new champion anytime soon. 3 great heels. Great show. Great storylines. Great wrestling. Cheers.